So, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining another webinar as part of our webinars, which we are doing since last 4 months. So, before I introduce our guest speaker today, let me introduce about myself quickly. I am Kishore Ramraju from Sugarland, Texas. I am an IT consultant. I'm an entrepreneur and also a financial consultant. So, in case I am part of multiple business opportunities, so in case if anyone is looking for that second source of income, especially current economy is so unstable, the salaries, billing rates are so unstable. So, in case if you are looking for that second source of income, you can always approach me. And also, if you or any of your friends are looking for any financial, right, for financial planning sessions, for financial suggestions, you can. I work with nearly 100 plus different financial companies as a independent financial consultant. So you can approach me, and I can help you with a free consultation with your financial planning to see. Just like we do annual health checkup, in the same way, it is very important for each and every family to do the analysis of their financial situation each and every year. So if you want a free consultation for a financial planning session, I can do a complimentary session for you. Generally outside they charge $200 to $500, but I can do it free for all our members. And also most of you know that one of my passions is connecting the community, bringing everyone together, bringing the subject matter experts with our group members. As part of this hobby, I organized over 200 plus webinars and seminars in last 2 plus years related to all different fields related to education, immigration, taxation, medical, investment strategies, business opportunities, new IT technologies, meditation, each and every field, each and every domain we touched. And even last 4 months when COVID started, when everybody were in a panic situation, I thought like this is the best time where we all can invest on education, getting better, understanding things which we are missing. So we organized over 50 plus webinars in last 4 months. We had nearly 15 various webinars on kids college education, like how to write essays, how to prepare for SAT, how to prepare for PSAT, so many different topics about various investment strategies, like for example on stocks, options, bitcoins. So many, we had more than 10 to 12. Within real estate we had like 3 to 4 different sessions. And also immigration, there are so many things are changing because of this pandemic situation. We had nearly 4 to 5 webinars by some top immigration attorneys about gardening, about various IT technologies, IT certifications, because this is the best time to get IT certification. So we had multiple webinars on those IT certifications. We had sessions with the doctors, some famous doctors from Houston, on how to handle this COVID situation, how to prepare for, if kids are interested in medical field, how they should prepare from childhood. Like that, we had more than 50 plus webinars. And I'm also talking to one of the forex trading expert. I'm planning to do it very soon. I'm not getting his time. If you have any other topics of your interest, right? If you want to know something which will be helpful for a lot of our group members, you can approach me on my email or you can text me on my phone number, and I can connect with the subject matter experts and schedule a session. Even this session, many we got like more than 5 to 6 thousand members in our stock groups. They asked like, yeah, it would be great if we have a session on this capital gains, how to handle those, because a lot of people, because of the recession, it is the best time to invest into stocks. A lot of new members who are new to stocks also investing into stocks. So they asked like, yeah, can you connect with an expert who can educate us on capital gains, what are the various strategies. And also there are many people who are getting into a business in addition to their full-time job, because as you all know, more than 40 million people lost their jobs in last 4 to 5 months. So many people are looking for that second source of income. They are getting into business opportunities. So that is also another, that is our second subject area today, part of our agenda, where we can understand like what are the benefits by becoming an entrepreneur, by becoming a business, person how you can save taxes, what are the various benefits. We'll also discuss on both these topics, and after that you can we'll open it for Q&A. You feel free to enter all your questions in the chat window, and our subject matter expert for today, Mr. Gangaraj Hanmaya. Mr. Gangaraju, one of very good friends in Houston. He's founder and CEO of Right TaxMate. Right TaxMate started around 2+ years back, and it's growing very huge in all different cities of US. He's a resident of Katy, Texas. He got over 13+ years of experience in the US tax industry. He's specialized in international compliance requirements for US individuals and business taxpayers. I know because we organized multiple webinars and got great feedback from all the group members in various webinars and seminars. So I thought I immediately went to Gangaraj when my group members asked me to connect with a subject matter expert. I thought Gangaraj will be the best person. So thanks, Gangaraj, for taking time to share, educate our group members on how to handle this capital gain taxes, what are the various strategies, and also how to help if somebody want to start a business, especially if someone on visas, if they want to start a business, can they start C Corp, S Corp, LLC, and what are the benefits of being an entrepreneur? What are the tax deductions they can get? Let's discuss on all those topics. And it's all yours, Gangaraj.
Thank you, Kishore. So before I start my presentation, I just want to check, am I audible?
Yes.
Kishore, can you confirm to me? Okay, great. Let me share my screen. Okay, Kishore, can you confirm?
Yes, yeah, we can see his screen.
Okay, great. Thank you, Kishore, for giving me an opportunity to present on the tax topic. So hi, everyone. Kishore already introduced and given a very quick introduction about myself. So I'll not spend too much time on that introduction. Today's more focus on the education. I'm going to talk very less on our company, about me, and I would like to use this time on sharing some of the advanced topics related to the capital gain tax and what are all the consequences of having a capital gain, how you can make use of some of the IRS tax strategies and take advantage on your tax returns. So to start, before I start the presentation, I want to make one disclaimer very clear. So today I'm going to present only the tax portion of your capital gain investment. So I'm not a financial advisor, or I'm not recommending anybody on the capital gain investment. This is only purely, I'm a IRS enrolled agent. I'm talking about if you are making income or loss, how you can take advantage on your tax return. So today's focus mainly on the tax impact. So agenda for today is, I just have one slide to give you a little bit background about our company. We are going to talk about very high level what are the capital gains, just to have that continuation of our topic. We'll talk about capital gain tax saving strategies. Stock trader is the one today we want to pay more attention and more details. And if you do stock trading as a business, what are the consequences? What are the options you have in the stock trading business? And we'll talk about mark-to-market elections. We'll talk about execution of some of the strategies with some examples. I have case studies and also conclusion. And, if you have any questions while I'm presenting, please reserve all your questions. So I will answer all your questions at the end of the presentation, or you can drop your questions on the chat window. So on the first in first out basis, we'll try to answer those questions at the end of the presentation. So coming to our credentials, we have 25+ tax consultant group of CAs, CPAs who have experience on the tax and accounting field. We have office in Houston, Dallas, Denver, California, and Chicago. We use Topline tax software. I'm from E&Y. So I do understand the importance of good experience to be given for our client. So we use the top side technology to make it very convenient for our client. At the same time, we ensure that all the informations are securely maintained. Currently, we are serving about 1,500 individual and business tax clients. We have about 250 bookkeeping and accounting client, and we have about 50 audit and other services. So we are one-stop shop assisting our client on all tax and accounting field. And our vision is, we want to be a trusted partner in the areas of tax, bookkeeping, and by adding value in every work we do. And some of our client reference, so Hypersonics, we have clients in IT, consulting, some of them are real estate, insurance. If you want to take any reference, so we were happy to give our client reference. You can talk to them to hear about our services. So now jumping on to the main topic, capital gain. Basics, many of you are aware about it. What is capital gain, how you generate. There are two types of capital gain, short-term capital gain or long-term capital gain. So short-term is something you held less than a year. Even if you sell the stocks exactly 1 year, so it's still considered as a short-term. If you held the stocks for more than a year, then it is considered as a long-term. The biggest difference you will see is the tax rate. Short-term capital gain taxed at your ordinary tax rate. So, and long-term capital gain taxed at a lower tax rate. So it's always better to have a long-term capital gain because the tax rate for long-term capital gain starts at 0 and it gradually goes to 15 and maximum is 20%. So some of the strategies that we are going to talk, there are lots of strategies available within IRS. One is mark to market that we are going to spend more time, trader status, 1031 exchange. So you can exchange one property to another, so you don't need to pay tax on it. And section 121 exclusion. So this is something applicable for your sale of primary home. Opportunity zone. So you can invest in another real estate where IRS has quoted as an opportunity zone and save on the capital gain. 83B election, this is only for the startups or stock option income. So by making 83B election, you will have a preferable tax rate. Qualified small business stock, a C corporation, a founder who start a business, and they can exclude the capital gain by having exit strategy. So gift and estate planning. So there are more, I can keep on listing, but today we are focusing mainly on mark to market and trader status. So, and if you want to know any more details about any of the other strategies, we need to meet in a separate, we need to have a separate conversation. Okay, so now trader, let's understand who is a trader. Basically, anybody who do stock trading. So we can broadly classify into two category: an investor or a trader. An investor is someone who keeps the stocks for a longer period, who expect dividend or who expect appreciation. So that we call it as an investor. And the trader is someone who wants to swap. He wants to buy and sell and make money. He is not expecting any dividend. So he just keep it for a short period. We may also call him as a day trader. An investor, he do a lot of fundamental analysis. It is a kind of passive income, and the growth he expect is long term and relatively low risk. And a trader, so he is doing technical analysis, and he is extremely active in the day-to-day transaction, and he is expecting a short-term gain. So trader will always have a short-term gain, and also since it is short-term and there will be more amount involved on day-to-day basis, it's relatively little higher risk. The trader, again, if you see the other side of the slide, is a passive. There are two types of passive trader. Trade often, he doesn't trade often, and he won't depend the income he generate from the trading for his livelihood. Whereas an active trader, he trade regularly. He trade every day in a week, more than 4 days in a week. And he depends, there are some trader, they don't have any other work other than trading. So they don't have other W2 income. They just make the trading as their main source of income for their livelihood. So these are all the different options you have. I'm not sure how many of you are already a trader or want to become a trader. So something you need to understand your options here. Okay, so if you want to consider trading as a business, certain things you need to keep in mind. IRS has given certain guidelines. So you must seek a profit from daily market movements in the price fluctuation. You should expect the profit, or you should make a income from the price fluctuation. You're not expecting a dividend or interest or capital gain. So dividend interest are expected by a investor, somebody who keeps it for a longer period. And a trader, something, if you want to qualify as a trader, you must have substantial amount of activities. You should buy, sell, substantial amount. IRS has not given any dollar limit or dollar amount, but IRS has said that you need to have a substantial amount of activities for you to consider as a trader, or for you to call yourself as a trader. You need to have substantial amount of transactions, and you must carry the activity continuously and regularly. So if you do 1 week, and if you stop for 3 months, you may not be considered as a trader. So IRS may not consider as a trader, and you may not get the advantage. If you see the other side of the slide, there are a lot of advantages for a trader, for an active trader. So an active trader, you can take advantage of deducting home office expenses, because the active trader use the home space. You use the computer at home, you use electricity, you use the gas, you use the subscription TV to watch the news. So home office expenses can be taken as a deductions, and any improvements you make to make your place good, or make your space decent for you to perform the trading activities. So if you do such improvements, you buy a furniture, you make some modification to your home for the trading purpose, can be taken as a deductions. And if there are any tangible property expenses, can be taken as a deductions. As I mentioned, furniture, laptop. And if you attend seminars, webinars, or you take a training for trading, and you buy a car, and some portion of the car can be taken as a depreciation. You have a subscription for trading, you read a lot of subscribed materials, so you can take it as a deductions. You attend seminars, and you buy books, you buy CDs, those are all directly an expenses for that business. And before you start trading, you set up some startup expenses. You create an entity, you take a legal opinion. So you work with the CPAs, you work with the team of tax professionals to understand anything you spend. Those are all startup expenses, or organization expenses, can be taken as a deductions. And eventually you will have an option to pay health insurance from the trading income. And you can also contribute to the retirement plan from the trading income. So these are all the expenses. If you want to take advantage of all these expenses, you need to meet the guidelines, IRS guidelines, for you to fulfill the trader definitions. So we recommend, we have studied a lot of material, and we recommend in simple words, as keeping the IRS guidelines, one is continuity and regularity. So you should do trading 4 days a week minimum. Occasionally, if you take a lapse, it's okay. But whenever, if you want to take advantage of all these activities, and if you want to call yourself as a trader, you should do trading 4 days a week. And you should spend more than 4 hours in a day in the active days for the trading purpose. And these 4 hours includes placing in order, research, or travel, or meeting your the tax consultant to discuss about your trading income or trading loss. You are attending a seminar, you are attending today for 1 hour. This 1 hour will be qualified as you are using this 1 hour for the trading purpose. You attend meeting, you take any education course. So an average 4 hours you spending in a day. So that would help you for you to classify yourself as a trader. And the holding period, as I told you earlier, trader, someone who makes money from the price fluctuation in the market. So if you want to call yourself as a trader, you should keep it generally 3 to 5 days, and most of the trade happens on the same day. And generally, if you keep more than 31 days, you may get some interest or dividend. So it is, IRS may not like, if you want to call yourself as a trader, and if you keep more than 31 days, IRS may question. So generally, if you keep less than 31 days as a holding period, generally 3 to 5 days, it is easy for you to call yourself as a trader. And substantial activity, IRS has not mentioned any dollar amount. Again, this is our RTM, right, tax made recommendations. If you do 750 trade in a year, that includes buy and sell. So if you buy a stock and sell, it is a 2 transactions. So if you do 750 trades in a year, and the total transaction or a proceeds for all the the trading you did, it is more in millions. That would help. I'm not saying you should use $1 million to start the trading. If you have an account size of $25,000, with $25,000 you do multiple trading, multiple buy, multiple sell. So the total proceeds could be in millions. So and then it is easy for us to substantiate and claim all the benefits of a trader. Sorry. So there are certain elections you can make to call yourself as a trader. And election can be done at individual level, entity level. I'll cover it in the next slide. So one of the most common or popular election is mark-to-market election. So if you are a trader and if you if you don't do a mark-to-market election, IRS thinks that you are an investor, even though you do trading. IRS generally tax you as an investor. The investors rules will be applicable. Whereas if you do mark-to-market elections, you will be getting the trader status, tax status. TTS stands for trader tax status. By making a mark-to-market election, so you will be getting the trader's tax status. So traders tax status have certain advantages. One is your income. Anyway, it is a short term. It will be considered as a ordinary income, and there is no limit on the loss deductions. So if you incur, let's say 30,000 in a bad year and a bad time, you incur loss. A trader with mark-to-market election, so you can deduct the entire capital loss on your tax returns, and you will have a separate tax forms to report. And another advantage of being a trader with mark-to-market election is, so you don't need to worry about wash sale. Since it is all day trading, you can buy any number of stock at any number of times without keeping track of any wash sales. If you are an investor or you have not done the mark-to-market election, probably wash sale loss are not allowed. You may not able to take advantage of wash sale. So I'm going one step ahead. One is having an investor and having a tax trader status, LLC and S corporation. These are all the main 4 options. Someone who wants to do take advantage of the tax return. So I have highlighted some of the features or some of the important points that you need to keep in mind. So if you see, the S corporation covers all the features. So I will focus as an S corporation. If you have an S corporation and if you do mark-to-market election for that S corporation, so you can deduct all your cost, any cost related to the trading business. So as I mentioned in my previous slide, all the expenses are allowed as a deductions. Startup cost, home office expenses, your travel related to the trading can be taken as a deductions. And if you do mark-to-market election, separate election needs to be done. You need to let IRS know that your S corporation is getting the mark-to-market election. And one advantages of S corporation is you can do late election. So whereas an investor or TTS or trader status, tax status, there is a timing of making an election. So for the year 2020, the due date to make this mark-to-market election for an investor or for an individual is April 15th of 2020. So for that year, you should make the election in advance. Whereas if you form an S corporation and within 90 days of forming an S corporation, so you can still make the mark-to-market election and take advantage. So for this year, 2020, if anybody are in this position or making a substantial amount of transactions, so you have an option to set up an entity, LLC or S corporation, and still take all the advantages of a trader. So this option is available only for late election, available for LLC and S corporation. There is a 20% qualified business income deductions as applies for LLC, S corporation, and also TTS. Being an S corporation, you can draw salary for yourself. Trader, you can opt as a primary business. and you can draw salary for yourself. You can process salary. If anybody is helping you, you can process salary for your spouse. You can process salary for your kids. You can pay them. And since you are the owner of the S corporation, and you can also pay health insurance deduction. And if you pay health insurance deductions, it is going to be deductible. It is a tax deductible expenses on the S corporation. You can contribute towards 401k plan. You can set up your own 401k. You can contribute. You can imagine. So S corporation for trader is no difference than any other IT company having it when it comes to tax purpose. So any deduction a IT company and S corporation takes, most of the expenses, if it is directly related to the trading business, can be taken as a deductions. On top of it, the LLC and S corporations give you a limited liability coverage plus tax advantage. This is going to be a the right fit if somebody is making substantial amount of trading. I have a client who makes about $500,000 in income every year from the trading. So he is saving a lot of money by electing his business as a S corporation, and he do this as a main business. As a he earn this for his day-to-day living. So if somebody in this position, you may consider doing S corporation, or if you're not doing too much of trading, you can just do at individual level mark-to-market election and take some of the benefits as a mark-to-market election as a trader. So I have a case study. So probably this will give you more, the easy way of understanding what I'm talking about. So let's read together. Joe has taxable income of 200K from wages and other sources, and he incurs loss of $60,000 in stock trading. Joe has 10K in expenses towards his trading activity, which includes brokerage, margin interest, subscription, attending events. So you will see the comparison here. So someone who made the mark to market with mark to market and no mark to market. So somebody who have a 200 taxable income, so they may not have an option to take any of the expenses related to the capital gain or related to the trading business if they have not done the mark to market. They are considered as an investor, and the expenses cannot be taken. I'm seeing the middle column, no mark to market column. So, and the trading loss is limited to $3,000 for married couples or married filing single. So there is a $3,000 limit, and your taxable income going to be 197. I'm going very high numbers here. I've not considered standard deductions. Just for you to understand the impact, I'm considering only the differential amount here. So your tax return would be like slightly different, but I'm trying to explain you the concept here. So the taxable income is 197, and I'm assuming 25% is the the average tax rate. So your tax rate on 197 going to be 49,250. Whereas with mark-to-market election, you are eligible to claim the entire loss in the year you incurred. Also, you are eligible to get $10,000 trading business expenses. So if you see the tax rate, tax that you pay with the mark-to-market election is 32,500. Without mark-to-market is 49,250. There is a significant benefit, roughly about $17,000 benefit you will get with mark-to-market election. So I have another example. So this is for an S corporation. So I have, this is more kind of a more realistic example. If you see John as a capital gain income of 400K from stock trading, he uses S Corp to run payroll for $84,000 to compensate for the time he spent in trading. He also contribute $36,000. This he can contribute more, but for our example, we have taken $36,000. This includes employee and employer. So if you plan, he can contribute much more. And he has 15,000 health insurance premium that he pay for his family. And if you see the number, if you do just mark to market, so you can take, the 400K would be the income. So I've not considered any of the other expenses here. Taxable income 400K and 25% tax is 100K. Whereas with S corporation, if you see, you will get 84K as a wages. He will get W2 from his S corporation. Employer contribution 36K is a deduction. Healthcare premium $15,000. Plus, in addition to that, I've not shown on this slide, you'll also eligible to get the qualified business income deduction that will further reduce. So actual benefit is much more than 12,750. So by applying qualified business income deductions, so qualified business income deduction is roughly about 20% of the net income or taxable income. So that will give much more higher benefit than what I'm showing it here. So this is, I'm just trying to give you an example to make you understand the concept. So in your realistic terms, if you have the estimate income for yourself, you can contact Right TaxMate. We will run the scenario. We will give you the actual detailed report where you can see what are the benefits you will have by making mark-to-market or S corporation election. So as a tax consultant, we will give you all required information for you to take a conscious decisions. One more strategy, again, that is related to the stock trading. So this strategy is not slightly different. So we have been recommending this strategy for many of our clients. So this can be applied a trader, investor, or any other individuals. Anybody can adopt this strategy, simple strategy. No, not much paperwork is needed. So let's assume, taxpayer and spouse, TP stand for taxpayer, spouse, SP stand for spouse, can give 15,000 each to the, to kid as a gift. So I'm saying 15,000 because no paperwork is required. If you pay more than $15,000, there are some reporting requirement. If you pay 15,000 for the year 2020, no paperwork is required. So total 30K per child. So the parent can set up an LLC and have their kids to invest that 30K into their LLC, and assume that LLC generate income end of the year. That income could be interest, dividend, capital gain. It has to be a passive income or investment income. So if you do regularly, and if you invest that 30K for each kid, let's assume you have 2 kids, total 60K. And if you generate $9,200 of income from that 60K, so if you're not done this strategy, you need to pay tax of $2,300. I'm assuming again 25% tax rate. Whereas if you do this strategy, very less paperwork, you set up an entity, it's a one-time entity setup. There is no maintenance fee in the Texas. You don't pay any maintenance fee to the state. So you are with this strategy. So your tax going to be $520. The reason $520 here, because the first $2,200 for each kid is completely exempt. You don't pay tax for the $4,400. And the next income get taxed at 10%. So if I apply the 10% on the over and above, the 4,400, you'll have $520 as the tax. Whereas if you don't do kiddie tax strategy, your tax going to be $2,300. So this is a simple, easy way easy to adopt this strategy and still get a decent amount of savings by proactive approach, by creating this structure for yourself in your family. So another point, I think many of our clients have taken advantage is you can withdraw. Because of COVID-19, IRS has given an option for the taxpayers to withdraw up to $100,000 each taxpayer. If both of you have husband and wife having a 401k account, you will have 100K each, that is 200K. So you can withdraw up to the 100K each person, that is 200K in a year, and you can repay in 3 years. Either you can repay lump sum amount within 3 years, or you can make an election to pay the equal amount in the next 3 years. So if you do this, you don't need to pay any interest, you don't need to pay any penalty. It is a COVID-19 related distribution. You can take advantage of your 401k money and use that money for your any related, the COVID related activities. And I know some of my taxpayers or clients are using that money for investment. As a tax consultant, I don't recommend, but there is no way IRS to figure out you're using that money for investment purpose. So, this call, you need to take it. But if anybody have any questions on this, let me know. I have given the example here. Let's say tomorrow you withdraw $90,000 from your IRA account. and you don't recontribute it, or you don't elect to repay in within 3 years, then you need to pay. It will be included as a taxable income, $30,000 in each year. Versus not having this option, if you withdraw $90,000, so you would have paid the entire $90,000 as an income plus penalty. Whereas because of COVID-19, you have an option to spread the $90,000 in 3 years. So I will leave it on to you. It's your call. So if you want to take advantage or you want to know more about this strategy, let us know. I'll spend some time and I'll go to you and explain it to you in detail. So that's all from my side. So I know these are all some of the advanced topic and require some specialized, the knowledge. So if anybody wants to know more about any of these strategies, feel free to contact us. Our website is righttaxmate.com. You can call us. Our telephone number 844-298-1040. Or the best way to contact us is info@righttaxmate.com. Or now we have limited appointments at KT office. Once a COVID situation comes to normal, I don't know when, but we are currently also taking a few limited appointment, face-to-face appointment in that office. So contact us. Let's meet and discuss. If you have any questions you have on the capital gain, or it could be any other topics related to tax and accounting, feel free to approach us, and we are there to help you.
Gangaraj, can you also touch upon, like, if they are not in trading, but if they are in some other business, what are the benefits, advantages, tax reductions they can take? And which one is better, S Corp or C Corp?
Sure. So especially somebody who wants to set up a new business. So IRS has a lot of advantages for somebody who wants to start a business. So if you see my screen, all these expenses are very well can be taken as a deductions on the business. So let me cover. There are different type of business. Let me cover a little bit basics, and then I'll talk about the tax savings. So one is the limited liability company, that is more flexible entity structure. The other one is called corporation, or INC. In between, there is one entity called an S corporation. This S corporation is a status, needs to be requested from an IRS. Normally, there are other type of entity I'm not going to cover much, but mainly you need to choose between either an LLC or a corporation. And for tax purpose, most of the time, converting an LLC or a corporation to an S corporations gives you maximum benefit. The reason I'm saying the S corporation gives maximum benefit, because the S corporation gives you an advantages of limiting your social security tax. Whereas an LLC, the entire net income is subject to social security tax. The social security tax or self-employment tax is about roughly about 14.8%. So you need to pay self-employment tax plus income tax in the LLC. Whereas if you do S corporation, so you can limit the self-employment tax to only the compensation you take from the business. So in that way, S corporation is more beneficial. And also S corporation has an added advantage. So you can deduct the health insurance premium. You can employ your kids. You can employ your spouse. You can have a medical reimbursement plan. So there are a lot of expense deductions can be applied on this corporation. So anybody wants to, discuss about the advantages of a entity. Even LLC has certain benefits, but it purely depends on what type of business you want to do. Are you doing a real estate business? Are you doing a stock business? Or are you doing a consulting business? So we also need to see what are all the risks you will have in your business. What are the liabilities you will have in your business? So based on the factors, we will suggest you the right entity structure. And also we will discuss with you after discussing with you. So we will recommend the expenses that you can claim on your tax returns. And we will educate you how to keep track of all your expenses, so that it is easier for us to make use of all the the expenses and get maximum deductions on your tax returns when we file the return end of the year.
Yeah, thanks, Kangaraj. And can visa holders open a S corp?
Visa holder, technically, if they have an EAD, they can open an S corp. From the IRS point of view, IRS will not restrict them to open an S corp, but from the immigration point of view, a visa, having an H1 visa, or any other visa, immigrants, they don't like them to have a active business or an S corporation. The reason is the visa is given for a specific company, specific reason, or specific job profile, and an S corporation is always an active business. So if you are actively involved in any other than your primary job, so immigration will become, a challenge, or it will become more complex. So if you are on a H1, we recommend not to be a direct officer of an S corp. You can be a passive officer or a passive member of an S corp, but not a direct active member or a general member of an S corp. But if you are a visa, you still have a business idea, then we will suggest an LLC at converting into a C corporation, so that you are maintaining your job and the business as a separate entity altogether. It won't mix to each other. So if anybody, a visa holder, wants to set up any business, you have an option to set up a business, but not an S corp. We don't recommend an S corp. This is as per the USCIS guidelines. We don't want your visa to get complex or get more challenge later. So keeping that in mind, we suggest a visa holder should go for LLC and C corporation election.
No, yeah, makes sense. And if someone is working as full time, but they are also active day trader, or they are also doing 2-3 hours of trading every day, can they get the benefits of this MTM?
Yes, 2-3 hours may not be sufficient. So mark to market gain, they should show that, as I told you, that 2-3 hours need not be only sitting in front of computer and doing the trading activity. So your hours counts. Any study you do, any meetings you attend, any course you take. So including all, an average if you spend 4 hours per day, 4 days in a week, so then it is easy for us to consider you as a trader. So if you not spending this many hours, IRS can question. So in that, you need to define your activities and manage in such document. Keep track of all the the hours you spend. Not only just trading, sitting in front of your computer and doing the trading, but also you need to track the meeting you attend, the seminar you attend, and also the travel time. So all those things considering, if you're spending little more than 4 hours in 4 days in a week, so then you are good. So there not be further questions asked. You will be considered as a mark to market trader.
Even they are on H1.
Yes.
Okay. Do we need to set up LLC or S corp if we are an active trader?
Setting up an LLC or S corp will give them much more benefits. And certainly, visa holder we don't recommend. Visa holder, you can be just a trader with mark to market election. If somebody green card or citizen, we recommend, if you want to make use of all eligible deductions or benefits, a green card or citizen and S corporations will give them maximum benefit. A visa holder, it's better to stick to only mark to market at individual level, and just have the trader status with mark to market for visa holder.
Okay. If I have
or they can convert into C corporation, but C corporation may not give as attractive advantages as a S corporation.
Okay. If I have 401k account from my employer, can I still open a solo 401k through my own business?
Solo 401k may not be an option, but you can, if you are contributing, your employer is sponsoring, you may not able to contribute full account, but you will still have an option to contribute a little bit, but you need to have a different account setup, not a solo 401k.
Okay. And if I don't withdraw profit, which I got from my stock trading, and if I use the profits to invest in other stocks, do I still need to pay capital gain taxes?
Yeah, it's a great question. See, in a business, we are all talking about LLC, S corporation. These are all pass-through entities. When I say pass-through entity, the net income of the business will be reported on your personal tax returns. So no matter whether you actually withdraw the money, every year the books will be reconciled, and the net income or profit, whether you take it or leave it in the business, so will be taxable on your personal tax returns. So you will keep on paying it. That's why we call it as mark to market. So let's say you have invested $10 today, and $10 become $15 end of the year, and you pay tax on the $5. And again, your the account set for the $15 as an investment in the first day of the year. If you're not assuming you're not taking anything, and you make $18 in the next year, so you pay tax on the increment income, that is $3. So it keep on mark to mark, beginning year and end of the year. So the cost basis will be calculated, and tax will be reported. So to answer your question, withdrawing is not, we don't consider for calculating the taxes. If you make a real income, mark to market income, you need to pay tax on that year.
Okay. Can we do a 50K home improvement to set up office space and claim deduction with S corp?
See, as per IRS, IRS has not defined what kind of home improvement you need to do. They have not defined anywhere, but they have said in their document that if the home improvement is required for your business, so let's say for a trading business, you have a home, you need a privacy, and you create a glass door, and that is, you can say that you want to focus, you're getting distracted, so that probably required for the trading business. Whereas you buy an expensive sofa for your home, which may not be required for a trading business. So IRS look at what is the purpose of your home improvement. If the purpose is required or related to the business, yes, no matter what is that amount, they'll not look at the amount, they look at the purpose. And if that expenses is related to the business, yes, you can take it as a deduction on your return.
Okay. Can I register as an active trader now in August for 2020?
If you do as an entity, LLC or a S corporation, you have time to register. You can still make yourself as an active trader. But an individual wants to convert without going through an S corp or LLC route, then the time is over. But if you okay to do LLC or S corp, then you still have a time for 2020.
How does IRS tracks the trader guidelines?
See, these are all an audit. One is, one, you need to make an election, and once you make an election, it's kind of permanent, and you will start reporting your income and expenses based on the trading rules. And if IRS audit you, and then they will look for all your activities, how many trading you did, how you have involved, all those things. So these are all post activity. There is no kind of system they track on day-to-day basis. But if your return is taken for audit, they may ask that question, and it is your responsibility and also our responsibility as a tax consultant to provide all the required information to the client to support the status we have claimed on the return.
I'm doing active trading since last 3 months and made good profit. Am I eligible for MTM to reduce short-term capital gain taxes?
So if you have not done MTM mark-to-market election on or before April 15th of 2020, so even though you meet all the criteria, you may not able to take the deductions. So it is important, timing is important, to get that mark-to-market election, or you need to consider registering an LLC or converting into a corporation, and get that all the benefit starting this week or starting next month. With it through an entity, you can get all the benefit, but as an individual, the time is over for 2020.
Yeah. And I know it is more a immigration question, but let me ask it. Like, is it legal if H1B can do day trading?
They can do day trading, but they can also do mark to market election, but they may not. We don't recommend them to do LLC or S corporation.
If I'm not a trader but invest in stock market, is there any way to reduce the taxes on my total gains from the stocks?
Yes, there are a couple of other strategies available. So as I mentioned here, here. So opportunity zone is one, gift and estate planning is one. So contact us. Today's focus is mainly for the trading and the trader election. So if you contact us, we will evaluate and then suggest you what are the options for yourself.
Which one is better, self-employed or S corp?
S corp will give the maximum benefit. Again, S corp has certain limitations for the visa holder. So if you are a green card holder and if you have a significant amount of gain or income and majority of your income is coming from the trading business, S corporation is the best. You have a small amount of income coming up, you want to get the some of the advantages, then probably you need to go for an LLC. Or you don't have significant gain, and you also don't have many expenses, you don't incur any trader related expenses, you don't need to pay health insurance expenses, whatever it comes most of his profit, then probably you can just be settled with mark to market elections and then get the loss or income gain on the tax return. So it depends on the individual situation. Where do you stand? What type of expenses you have, and how are you designing or how are you structuring your business? So accordingly, we can suggest which one makes more suitable in your situation.
And do we need to understand about LIFO, FIFO, tax efficient loss harvest if we are trading stocks and we want to get the tax benefits?
Yes, in certain cases, we need to do that analysis, LIFO, FIFO, all those things. So traders, since we are all talking about the day traders or short term, LIFO, FIFO, will not have significant impact. Very rarely it will have an impact. But yes, we can do that analysis and we can elect LIFO, FIFO and see if we can able to make any difference on the return.
Me and my spouse have full-time jobs. We also trade very active, especially now working from home is helping in that perspective. Can we qualify as active traders? We do more than 1 million proceeds and 750 plus transactions.
Yes, you will be eligible to apply for mark-to-market election. So, as I told you earlier, even though you are meeting all the guidelines, you should also let IRS know that you are a trader. You want to consider as a trader. So you need to make an election, an official election letter to be prepared and submit to IRS. So contact us. We will help you to get that status. It's an official status applied on your case and you can take advantage of all these benefits.
If the income is below 50,000, which one is best, LLC or S corp?
Below 50,000, probably an LLC. And more than income, we also need to look at the expenses you have. As I mentioned, you have a health insurance premium. You have a need to pay health insurance premium. Then S corporation is best. Health insurance premium. I know the families are paying 15,000 or 20,000 health insurance for their family. You have the good coverage. So 20,000 is a good saving. So that will help them if they do through S corporation. Again, it comes with certain restrictions, but we want to see in person, have an in-person conversation, understand the needs, understand the fact, and then we will suggest S corporation or LLC.
If I do swing trading on regular basis and has a regular job and I have been trading under my name, can I change my earnings so far in 2020 to S corp or LLC?
Technically, no, because when we pull the statement, it will come on your personal name. So it may be wrong from the IRS. So, but at least going forward, if you have that intent, we can take advantage from going forward. But the statement, everything comes on your personal name, and we cannot claim for the historical data to be considered as trading purpose.
Can I buy a car under Section 179 within Escorp and take 100% deduction in the first year?
The answer is yes. But again, the car, if you buy a car and if you say you are using it for the business purpose, so IRS asks for what is the percentage of the car you are using for the business. So trading, probably it will be difficult to say you are using for the 100% of your car for the trading purpose. The reason is IRS will ask, where do you go? If you say I attend classes in a month, 5 days weekend I go and attend, I use the car for attending the class, then if you have that situation, yes, we can claim majority of the car expenses. If you say you don't attend any classes, you just sitting at home, you use computer, and we may not able to substantiate that your car was required for your business.
Can we do MTM or Escorp as H4 EAD holders?
Yes, H4 EAD, they are free to do MTM and Escorp.
And how much is the consultation fee if they want to approach you?
For our existing client, we are not charging any consultation fee. For our new client, first 15 minutes is free. We want to understand, we want to encourage everybody to take advantage of our specialized knowledge. You can contact us. I think we can able to decide what direction we need to move forward. So send an email, info@rightTaxMate.com. So we will provide you the consultation. First 15 minutes is free. So, and then we'll decide.
Yeah, thank you. I already have Escorp and used to do IT consulting. Can I use the same one for my trading purpose? I am not generating any income from Escorp now, and I am a full-time employee.
Okay, IRS doesn't like two separate business activity to be managed under one name. So you are saying you are going to terminate your IT consulting and use that business for trading purpose, which is completely okay. We need to change the purpose of an entity. But someone who wants to manage both, then it is not recommended. You need to set up a separate business. But if you want to close the IT or terminate the IT and use that S corporation only for trading purpose, yes, we can able to convert and apply the trading status, MTM status, and use that S corporation for trading business.
I do get a W-2 from my employer, and if I have already an LLC as an IT consultant, but I also do a lot of trading, can I still elect to do MTM?
Yes, you can.
And
If
should I
you meet all the
select?
criteria, we can elect for that LLC, we can elect the MTM.
Can we open a Roth IRA account to make investments tax efficient? Any criteria to be mindful of?
Roth IRA, yes. This Roth IRA is completely a different topic, nothing to do with trading. Roth IRA is always post-tax. So there are two ways you can contribute regular Roth IRA directly to the Roth IRA. If your AGI is within the limit, if your AGI is less than 190K for this year, you can contribute. If your AGI is not within the limit, you can do a backdoor IRA. You can contribute to it, traditional IRA and then convert to Roth IRA. So contact us. We will let you know how to get this done.
And there are members who join from other cities. They are asking, do you also do for Dallas and other cities?
Yes, we do have our office. My partner, Mr. Kumar, is from Dallas. So you can meet him in person. So Dallas certainly is our area we can provide. And other cities, we can work remotely. So our we have a portal, efficient portal. We keep all the information secured. We currently have client entire US, all over US. We have client from New Jersey. We have client from Denver, California, and we are helping them. Yes, anywhere. If you need our help, contact us. We can help you.
So again, there are another 60, 70 questions, but I know we are already more, yeah, it's already 9:02. CST and 10:02. There are a lot of guys from Eastern also who join.
Yeah.
So again, as Gangaraj already mentioned, you have 15 minutes free consultation. You can note down the numbers 832-844-560, or you can just email it to Gangaraj, and Gangaraj and his team will reply and schedule a 15-minute consultation.
Yeah, I request email is the best way to contact us. So we do have a huge volume. If you email, I guarantee that we'll not miss your email. We'll contact you and we'll give you information to set up an appointment.
Yeah. Thank you, Gangaraj, for taking time
Thank
on a
you, Kishore,
weekday.
for giving me this opportunity, and thank everyone for for listening to me. And I know this is a lot of advanced topic. I tried my best to gather most of this information and then make it useful for all the participants. Feel free to contact us. So we are there to help you and make you understand any of these topics in your situation, and you can take advantage when you file your tax return later. So thank you, Kishore. Thank you,
Yeah,
everyone.
thanks, Gangaraj. You simplified it very well. Yeah. Even
Yeah,
though it's advanced concept, you simplified it.
thank,
Thanks for that.
thank you,
Yeah, thank you all. Have a
thank,
great night.
thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Very nice. Good.